Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we are going to be finding out what happens if Arthur gets arrested and thrown in jail while he's working for the sheriff office and is a deputy of Rhodes. So I've always wanted to try something like this. Every time I'm in Chapter 3, and I see this message that pops up in the left-hand corner of my screen. It says, you cannot use weapons or cause trouble in Rhodes when you're acting as a deputy for Sheriff Gray. And I always wanted to know, what would happen if we got arrested? Would Sheriff Gray actually take us into jail? What would happen? I was so interested in this. Now, in case you guys are confused or you haven't made it to Chapter 3 yet, in one of the very first missions in the game, American Distillation, you actually become a deputy of Rhodes. Sheriff Gray sort of deputizes you, Bill Williamson, Dutch. It happens in this cutscene right here.
Of course. Oh, and here is my dear friend, Arthur Callahan. Boy is a hunter. Boy is a killer. Arthur, you've met but not been introduced to Mr. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sheriff Gray.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine.
Tough business you boys had.
We did?
Oh, there's no need to pretend with me, sir. Life can be tough.
So it can.
And no man owes another anything.
No, sir.
But still, I feel you were hard done by. Losing your employment like that. But still, here in Rhodes, we have work enough for honest men.
Oh, that's some strong stuff. Still, don't seem to be doing you any harm, I guess.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Excuse me a moment.
I told you we was moving up in this world. Deputies.
You have finally lost your mind.
Amongst these drunkards, hillbillies, and slavers? Good, honest thieves like us. We're bound to be moralizers in a place like this. Oh, Sheriff Gray, you are back.
Now listen, sir. There is shine in them woods, though, and it is costing this county its good name and the state a whole lot of income. You boys wouldn't mind rooting it out. Maybe we'll make you permanent. I gotta set me down a second.
Not a problem, sir. Not a problem at all. You are in safe hands now. And people waste time with the temperance movement. Liquor never dulled a good man's senses.
So once that mission occurs, you've officially become a deputy of Rhodes. And really the only change you're going to notice on your character, on Arthur, is he'll wear this badge. It's literally like a sheriff badge. It's pretty funny. And then when you are in Rhodes, you'll notice you won't have the ability to use weapons. Now, the first thing I wanted to try is actually going up to the sheriffs in Rhodes to see if I could cause some trouble. Because in other towns like Valentine, if you antagonize the sheriffs enough, they'll arrest you and throw you in jail. And this is the only thing I could do to the sheriffs in Rhodes.
Anyway, folks, please don't mind me.
Bye for now.
How's it going?
Yeah, all right.
Good. All the best now.
Bye now.
That dang stew they serve on a Callahan gave me the backdoor trust. I was in the outhouse for days. Don't surprise me in the least.
Okay there?
Well, howdy.
Thank you for keeping us all safe, sir. I really appreciate your service.
We'll see you around.
So you'll notice that the option to antagonize is not there. You can only greet them. So the game essentially prevents you from being obnoxious to the sheriff deputies. But I still wanted to try if I could actually get in trouble here to see what would happen. So I tried my best to basically knock around these guys because, as you can see, I am not allowed to pull out my weapons in the town of Rhodes. So I figured that if I knocked them over enough, surely that would get me in trouble, right? Well, the answer is no. Apparently, as a sheriff deputy, Arthur gains immunity from these petty crimes like knocking over sheriff officers. So I thought to myself, okay, maybe if I can't knock them over by myself, what would happen if I hopped on my horse and sort of galloped over them and maybe even killed them? And what happened next was incredibly interesting. I wasn't expecting this to happen at all. What occurred when I actually ran over them is I almost sort of started like a civil war in Rhodes. So you can see that I killed one of the sheriff deputies there, and now there is a red dot on the minimap, and the businesses are starting to close. And they are kind of shooting at me, but I think something weird happens in the game. Like the NPCs realize that I'm a sheriff deputy, and then they just all start shooting at each other. Because after a couple minutes of running around, everyone just sort of killed each other. And then that was it. And after that, the town returned to normal, and I was just able to go about my business and started looting all of the sheriff offices. And even going inside to the sheriff office after that happened, the sheriff didn't even notice anything. So I was able to loot all the grays right there. And like I said, the town returned to normal. The gun store was open. Most of the main missions were still available. So that was incredibly strange. By me actually causing trouble, I created like this civil war that happened inside of Rhodes. That's pretty strange. So after all of that occurred, what I did is I ended up checking the minimap. I wanted to see what the radius was of this zone. And you can see that it's sort of a two-part area. It's Rhodes and its surrounding area, but it's also Callahan. Now, I noticed that there was this very tiny gap between Rhodes and Callahan where it's not in the white zone and you'd be able to use your weapons. So I wanted to head there to try some other experiments. Basically, what I wanted to do is use my guns at this point and see if I could get in trouble to the point where I could get arrested. So I started firing off all the weapons that I had, and I couldn't seem to gain the attention of the law, which was really frustrating. It's like the one time I want the law on me, I literally couldn't get them to engage with me. But eventually what happens is I shot enough at Callahan, and eventually I did gain a wanted level. There were witnesses to the crime that I had just committed. But what's incredibly strange is the second I ventured into Rhodes, the bounty and the witnesses and the wanted status went away. It's like allowing me to go back into Rhodes completely wiped away the bounty that I had. So that was kind of strange, and I wanted to try this again. So this time what I did is I made sure that I actually got a bounty, that I had way more of a severe crime. So this time what I did, you guys can see, I have the lawmen on me, but the second I went into Rhodes, they completely ignored me, and my wanted status vanished instantly. That is so strange. And now what's weird is you can see that I do have a bounty inside the town of Rhodes, but it's still like to the point where if I go back inside, everything is good and everything is normal. So what I did is I went back and I actually killed those two lawmen. Now my bounty is increased to $45. And again, the same thing happens here. When I go back into Rhodes, basically my entire bounty status is wiped away. And even interacting with the sheriff officers and deputies, it's like nothing even happened. Now, I still have the bounty. That's still something I have to pay off. But it's almost like going back into Rhodes was like an invisible force field where the lawmen could not attack me. It was really, really strange. So we definitely learned a couple of things from this experiment. Number one, can Arthur be arrested while he's a sheriff deputy in Rhodes? The answer is no. So there's never a point in time where a cutscene like this will occur.
They'll probably hang you, buddy.
You coming, buddy?
What kept you?
Thought we were gonna get to see you swing.
Son.
Okay, I think we're clear.
Thanks again, Dutch.
We should split up. I'll see you back at camp. Just try to stay out of trouble.
So that cutscene right there is what happens when Arthur is arrested in Rhodes and Dutch has to break him out. It's the only cutscene like that that occurs in the Rhodes jail. That can't happen. Arthur can't go to jail. But at the same rate, some weird things happen in Rhodes if you sort of break the system and do end up causing trouble. Like the townsfolk and the sheriff deputies don't know how to react. the lawmen instantly go off of you like you've just activated a cheat code, and things are just really, really strange. So we definitely learned a lot from this experiment. It is a shame that Arthur wasn't able to get arrested and Sheriff Gray had to come in and be like, "Deputy, what are you doing? You're a lawman of Rhodes. You can't be getting arrested like this." But regardless, it was still a fun experiment to try. Thank you to everyone who suggested that I try this experiment on my Facebook page. Friendly reminder, if you want me to check out any secrets, mysteries, or try something in Red Dead Redemption 2, check out my Facebook page and write me a message over there. The link is in the description. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.